Good morning, listeners. I hope I find you well this morning and that your week has been good to you so far. It is not quite finished yet, but I hope it has been good. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about, that very elusive thing that most of us chase and most of us for the rest of our lives is happiness. And here I want to focus today on the illusion that is created by outside influences. Now, this is social media. It's the massive marketing machine that is constantly telling us we're not thin enough, we're not tall enough, we're not tanned enough, we are not rich enough, we are just not enough. And only when we achieve those things and own certain things, then maybe that would be enough. But listener, it never is. They convince us this immense marketing machine, and there's a whole psychology behind it that is researched into how to market products to entice people to buy it. So don't underestimate the research and the science that is behind marketing. So this marketing machine, all this advertising that lures us into buying a product so that we can feel at one with the atmosphere it is creating, whether it is lying on a yacht with a particular drink or wearing something and then being at a particular venue or engaging in a particular activity that is pictured in the advertisement or on the package of the product. That is very carefully designed to entice you to buy it, and then you can, by association, feel the let's call it the abundance, the affluence that is advertised or being communicated by the advertisement. But what I really want to talk about is the fact that we don't feel enough to start with. We don't feel that I'm actually happy and I feel all the peace and contentment and well-being inside of me without that product. If you still want that product because it is something you enjoy and would like to own perhaps, then that is fine. But these influencers and influencers are telling us that we are simply not enough and that happiness is found outside of ourselves and that it is attached to owning certain things. And this is where it all falls apart, because if you have that hole in your soul, if you have that emptiness of not being enough, there is not a product, an item, an association that is going to fill it. Many, many years ago, I had a client who came to see me and she said she is buying Persian rugs, which is all very exciting, but she was buying one every 2-3 months. She was buying another Persian rug. She literally had a pile of Persian rugs. And as we uncovered what was going on, I learned that she had lost her husband. This had left her incredibly lonely and that feeling of emptiness. So when she bought a Persian rug, for a while, she had that sense of well-being, of enjoyment, of looking at it and just loving it. And that filled the void for a while, but it wears off. That item becomes commonplace. The new pair of shoes, not that exciting to put on your feet anymore. The new cell phone has been, usurped by another model that's even better. And the hole is still there. And it's only when she realized that she has to look inward to fill that void, to fill that emptiness, that she was happy again and that she didn't need this compulsive buying and this needing to feel that short-lived sense of happiness. And that was a real breakthrough. And the same happens with compulsive buying, where We just need to buy stuff all the time. As I say, if you want to buy it for its own sake, that is fine. But don't buy it because it makes you feel more worthy. It makes you feel equal to someone else or a particular situation that you would like to be part of. You need to know that in yourself, you are enough, you are content, and you are grateful. And if you don't have those feelings, then my advice would be, please go and see someone, work through your emotions, work through the messages you got, perhaps during your formative years or because of family circumstances that left you feeling less than. And only when you address that and when you can heal from the inside, I think I have spoken to you on a previous podcast about putting lipstick on the mirror, where you look at the mirror and instead of putting the lipstick on your face, you put it on the mirror and you walk away and nothing has changed. And that is akin to what we are talking about this morning. If you keep on being influenced by other outside influences telling you you are not enough, you will never be enough. You will be constantly putting lipstick on the mirror. Unless and until you start looking inward, you will not be enough. There's a wonderful quote in Neil Donald Welch's book, the first book he wrote, Conversations with God, where he is having this conversation with God, and God says to him, if you do not go within, you will go without. And those words are very true. Go within, listeners. Look at what your heart is telling you. Look at what you are needing in your life to feel fulfilled, to feel content, and to feel grateful. And yes, by all means, then go and acquire the things you want to own. Go and do the things you want to do. But look at the motivation behind it. Know that true happiness and contentment comes from the inside. It's an inside job. It cannot be found outside of yourself. You cannot be happy by owning a lot of stuff. There's a wonderful interview with, I think it is Tony Robbins, where he wrote a book about money, where he interviewed and spent a lot of time, I think he says, with about 50 of the world's most successful people. And he said, of the 50, and he spent a lot of time with them, only about 4 or 5 are truly happy. And then he talks about the very wealthy people, the very famous people that have committed suicide. And he puts it down, he says, because they've never learned to manage their mind and their heart. It doesn't matter what they've achieved and what they own, but they have never learned to manage their mind and their heart. And so if you do nothing else, invest time and effort, and if need be money, into learning how to manage your mind and your heart. Because, as Tony said, there are enough examples of very famous, very wealthy, very well-to-do people that are incredibly unhappy, and that have over the years taken their own lives, which is incredibly sad. And I almost want to say unnecessary, because they've not mastered this one thing of going inside, not being satisfied because they haven't got to grips with what's happening with inside of themselves. So that is where I'm leaving it today. Go inside. If you do not go within, you will go without. You will go without the happiness, the contentment, and the sense of abundance. And it really is a sense, remember, we buy things for the feeling they are going to give us. And we need to have that feeling without that item. Then you know you are getting somewhere. If you would like to know more, if you would like to explore this, please contact me or contact another professional. But remember that happiness is an inside job. And please go to YouTube, go and like and subscribe on YouTube so this can continue. And please send us your requests. And with that, I wish you a very, very happy Thursday and weekend ahead.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.